Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. So I hit Morningstar and Williams Grove down there in south central Pennsylvania, the Cumberland Valley, and I got myself some crazy good deals. What you're looking at is a pile of stuff that was fill a bag for $10. And check this out, right? There are 3 GFIs in here. Looks like it was returned from Home Depot. And 3 of them. That was in the bag. That was part of the bag I filled up. LED lights. Right? So, I mean, these things here, crazy more than took care of the $10 I spent on this assortment. Anyway, so you kind of get this bag and you go through all these boxes, and here's some stuff that I picked up, right? You know, the car plug type things, very helpful for if I want to hook something up there, right? Picked up a few of those. This, you slide the cell phone into the top, right? And you have USB, plus you still have the cell phone outlet. This clock either runs on a battery or you can plug it in the clock. The bright LED will keep you away at night. This shines a blue star decoration out there. I'm not quite sure why you would do that, but it fit into the bag. This and this are lithium ion batteries. And if you're familiar with lithium ion, like this is 18 volts, I believe. Well, actually, it says 26.2. But if you go into the pack, a lot of times you have one bad cell and all the others are good. Or maybe they're just completely good. That's been my experience. This doesn't say what it is. I'm hoping it's 12 volts, and I hope it takes a charge. It could be helpful. Camouflage paint, right? You get a full can of camouflage paint. Threw it in. Headlights. A lot of times I use these, and that's a quartz. That's a separate. You can see the light bulb in there. A lot of times I use these as series for when I'm charging batteries. And once again, you put the 2 filaments in series, you up the amount of power you're putting into the batteries. I grabbed these, right? This guy has a fuse here. This one has a fuse intact. But a lot of times the fans, the element's always handy. This, obviously, USB charger for the phones. These lights, they were just small. I chucked them in the bag. This is some kind of dog trainer, plus lights. So, once again, small. I just checked it in the bag. Headphones. This is good. 12 volts, 2 amps. Always handy. 12 volt lights, right? Various projects. I'm hoping this remote thing works for one of my, I believe I have a lacrosse, and if I put this temperature sensor outside, hopefully it'll click up the wireless thing. That's a 20 watt, basically 12 volts. I mean, it's really only good for something like that. Box of grommets for a hose. These are a bunch of flashers. These guys are heavy duty for the trucks, and these are more light duty for a car, you know, the old cars. Wire harness. Kind of grabbed them and threw them in the bag, and the next thing I knew I had 4. So once again, this was the $10 deal. So here's the tailgate assortment. All this stuff, they were $1 each, right? When you're getting Hercules, you know, drill bits, right? The packs for $1. This is fly stickum. I'm hoping to put a strip near where the fruit is kept. That way the fruit flies stick onto that and stop annoying. True Value batteries. This was $1, you know, $1. This was less than $1. I just put it here. Once again, you get a whole spool of wire for $1. How could you not pick it up? This is a nail pouch, buck, right? Christmas lights. These turned out to be probably about 50 cents each. I just grabbed the batch while I was going by. This Phillips head I think has the official angles to be the Asian version. So I grabbed that. Chisels, flat chisels that are a wreck. It's probably a quarter. Exolite, one of those flip screwdrivers, right? Number 2 for both of these. Always handy in the toolkit. Sockets. I was going crazy trying to find a number 12 6-point, and finally, I'm picking up sockets, right? This is one of those cheap Taiwanese ones, and this is a Sears, but it's 12-point. So I was kind of picking up what I could, and finally I found an SK 12mm 3H drive 6-point. So I was very happy to find that, but in the meantime I picked up the others. Typically sockets are about $1 each. Funny story to go with this. I had a box of mufflers, and we'll talk about those in a second, on my shoulder, and I kind of did a deep knee bend to grab this out of a box. It wasn't a complete deep knee bend. The box was up a foot. So anyway, this was $1. So I kind of did the deep knee bend and picked it up and came up again, and the guy who was selling this stuff, he started to laugh, and he goes, "Yeah, we were betting on you being able to get back up or not." And I'm like, "Thanks, guys." So then I got to hear about his knee surgeries and so forth. But I thought that this is cool, right? Little dashboard, illuminated. Got these from somewhere else. A lot of times these kind of popular with the old car guys as accents. Plastic, paper, clipboard, and this was less than $1. Right? What did I not talk about here? These guys, one was selling them for $1 each. I kind of like this kind. They're those snap blades. That way you always have something sharp. This was half price. If you have an iPhone, you're familiar with how much the accessories are, so I only paid $2.50 that. We got Halloween coming. That was $2. This was $1. Couldn't believe it. The rolls of tape were $1 each. One of them started. The other 2 are brand new. This is the second one I have of this. Been very happy. It's rechargeable. I normally keep them right on my key ring, so they're handy. That thing was $1. I guess it's a light up version of a Christmas tree, right? The base and then the rest of it. I think I actually went $3 on this. It's a little amp meter. You can see it goes up to 1.2 amps. It's got the leads on it handy. These were for 3 for $5. Got this from Candy. These are 6-volt vintage stuff. So I've picked up those before and I bought more. I went by Prospect and they only had a couple of batteries left in the $15 battery bin, and this was one of them. So I picked it up. This was a real take a chance on me, right? You guys could see Autocraft, and it's their platinum version. So, for $15, I kind of grabbed it. Then I got it home and put my battery checker on it, and it came in as flat dead. And I'm like, oh man, I got stoned hard for $15, right? Somebody just beat me up. And at that point, I put the charger on it, let it charge, and very gradually it took a charge, let it charge overnight, and it came back. Cold cranking amps were 958. I mean, and the voltage came right up. So this appears as if it's a good battery. Not quite great to leave it out in the rain to fill up with water, get the top to fill up with water, but it looks like it's going to work out for me. This thing here is a alarm clock, but it works by, doesn't make a sound. It just kind of lights up when it's time to wake up. So I figured I would try it, particularly we've been getting a lot of these dark days here in the fall, so I figured perhaps that would wake me up and have me a little more chipper in the morning, so I went with it. Carburetors, the usual $10, you know, even, you know, technology from Japan, so they're clones. I worked at getting a bunch of them with the manual choke, right, rather than the cable. I took the cables where I had to, but I tried to get as many manual chokes as possible. I also picked up a few more PZ30s rather than the 27. The PZ30s, I could get up to 300 cc's out of them, so I like those. This guy here is a battery charger. It comes with 2 modes, charge and maintain. I got to check to see how many amps it puts out for maintain. Charge is obvious, but you know, for maintain, you got to be careful how many amps you pump into your battery so you don't burn it up. Baling wire, muffler wire, whatever you want to call those. These were like $1 a roll. And I picked up a load of these straps. These are cargo straps for trucks. They were $1 each. I don't know if they're beyond their life, which is why they're $1 each, or what the story was. But at $1 each for towing stuff around the horde, they'll be just perfect. I picked up this 50 feet of extension cord. You can see it's $2, right? I believe it's 14 gauge. Somebody made it out of submersible wire. You could see the Harbor Freight grommets on it. And this was another amazing deal. I was looking through this box of mufflers. Particularly, I was looking for this kind. And, you know, I saw there were a few in there. And I said, how much are the mufflers? He said, take the whole box for $10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 mufflers for $10, less than $1 each. And this other junk that was in the box, no real value. That head gasket looks like a Kohler to me. So, I mean, that's a screaming deal for $10. Couldn't pass that up. Now, there was another guy doing the 3 for the $1. These are truck stop returns. And particularly, you can see I picked up a pile of these. This is car, you know, 12 volt USB. Plus, it also has the lightning adapter on it. Once again, anybody who has an iPhone, you realize how expensive the accessories are, right? Another couple of those inverter things, speakers, right? Velcro tape, a couple of multi-plugs, a few of these alarm clocks. Once again, 3 for $1, 175 watts inverter. Plus, you can see there's the USB and the other stuff on it. A couple more of those car things. The headlights, 3 for $1, you can't pass up. I've been actually after this for a while. This setup is so that you can kind of magnetically attach your phone to things. Very helpful. So once again, 33 1/3 cents. This needs batteries, but depending on what mode you use it in, you got your flashlight. It does the red blinking and the red solid on, kind of, you know, put it on the side of your car. Warning light, 33 cents. Wire, 33 cents. Always red and black, could always use it. Always rigging things up. So this was the next batch of assorted. And let's talk about this batch here. This came from a storage locker guy. I love talking to the storage locker guys. They always have great stories. So the ratchet itself is an SK, right? Pretty fine. Like that kind. Ball peen hammer, right? I don't know if you bought pellets recently, bunch of wire brushes, some, you know, tweaker screwdrivers, the case. The whole bit was $8. So if you count, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, switch 8. So less than $1 each for all this stuff. So crazy good deal. But once again, I love the stories. One guy told me about, he got into a bidding war kind of with this family. And it turns out, he didn't even realize it at the time, but grandma kind of went into a nursing home, and they put all her stuff without really looking at it. They just cleared out her apartment and put it into the storage locker. And of course, it was everybody else's job to make the monthly payments on the storage locker, and nobody made the monthly payments on the storage locker. So the next thing you know, the storage locker was up for auction, and this guy won it. And once again, it was just all of grandma's stuff, including a coin collection. You talk about crazy. He really made out on that. He gave, he let the people come in, right? He didn't want to steal any of their mementos, and there were a couple of things, even of some value, he let them have, just, you know, because it was grandma and all that kind of stuff, right? But anyway, he got some crazy valuable coin collections out of that. He told me a story about, he opened up one lot. Another guy told me a story about finding a Met Lab in one. That was a different time. But he told me a story about finding a bunch of stuff that was actually related to a drug runner type of guy. So he called the cops, and the next thing he knew, the FBI was going through it. They were cool. They let him take, you know, the valuable stuff, but there was a lot of USB stuff, CDs, notebooks that they were thrilled to put their hot little hands on. So there was that one. I mean, he's always got a story. Some of the prison stuff. He talked about the times he's really been ripped off, where you open up a storage locker and you see a couple of things, good things up front. So you buy it, and then you find it full of dirty mattresses that cost a fortune to get rid of. And he hits these all the time. So he didn't want to just abandon the mattresses there. Some people do that, right? They hit and get the storage locker, they take out what's good, and then they kind of skate away and leave a mess. So he did that. Told me a few of the tricks of his trades, which I won't go into. I don't want to cost him business. But, you know, it's kind of cool. It's just kind of cool talking to those guys. You've never met a bunch of harder working people. Typically, you get the storage locker, you get 24, 48 hours, and it's either got to be empty or you got to start paying rent again. So, you know, they typically show up to these things. A lot of times it takes all day before they finally win it. And once they win it, it's got to be, you know, empty right away. If they've traveled the distance, they got to, like, empty it into a truck and either drive all the way home or hit a hotel. So it's a lot of work. And then they got to haul all the junk to the flea market, you know, kind of more of a young man's or a crew of people that are in decent shape kind of job, right? It's not for the faint of heart. Okay, that covers it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. By the way, the plastic pallet was a roadkill. Found it on the side, so there you go. No name on it, makes it mine. And I think that about covers it. I want to thank you all for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.